let's get to what everybody wants to talk about, which is what the was going on. Who is this goddamn shooter? What is his background? What the hell happened here? You know, all this good stuff. Let's get to it.
Charlie, we're now at this moment learning that the suspect was rejected from the high school rifle team, and one of the people who knew.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Now the people did he actually not have optics? Like that was an iron sight shot? No, you can't say I can see why. Dude, y'all are crazy. First of all, high school rifle team. That's weird. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Knew him as a child, who was a former member of the varsity rifle team, said, quote, he was a nice kid who never talked poorly of anyone, and I have never thought him capable of anything I've seen him do in the last few days.
Bro, that's how you know this motherfucker was white, by the way. White as hell. This dude shot at the president, the former president. That is how you know he was white. Like, I'm talking not even like a little Italian white. That's how you know. Bro, if this dude was even like a little bit Latino, if he had like one family member from Spain or some shit, they would be like, undocumented migrants, man. You know how they are. He was white, bro. They're calling him a kid. They're saying he was a nice kid. Whoo! He was so goddamn white, dude. Holy moly. Yeah, military aged is what they say. Military aged men are coming across the border to do crimes, immigrant crimes, Biden immigrant crimes, Biden migrant crimes.
What more can you tell us about how people there are reacting to who the shooter turned out to be?
We are getting mixed reactions on who this shooter was. On one hand, the account that you just shared is one. Another one that another classmate that I spoke to said he wasn't the closest of friends with him, but described Thomas Crooks as a loner, that he would sit alone at lunch. They didn't have many friends, and said that he was frequently bullied. That was made abundantly clear. But everyone who we have talked to said that they did not think that he was ever capable of carrying out what happened yesterday.
Okay, why is nobody talking about how Chinese he was, bro? What is happening? They're like, he was a victim of bullying. He was sad. Listen, Your Honor, my client was a little sad. He was a little guy and sad.
All right, Charlie DeMar for us there outside of the suspect's home. Thank you.
Background wise, we know the name of the kid. Originally, there was a whole bunch of different names out there. People were just like making shit up. The New York Post very quickly said it was a Chinese man. I will never forgive nor forget how funny that is, because it's like kind of unique. At least they didn't go with the shooter was trans narrative. You know what I mean? Which is what they normally do. Who is Thomas Matthew Crooks, the suspected Trump rally shooter? This is from Reuters. Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Federal law enforcement authorities scrutinized the background of Thomas Matthew Crooks on Sunday in a search for what drove the 20-year-old gunman to open fire on former U.S. President Donald Trump at a campaign rally in Western Pennsylvania. Crooks, identified by the FBI as the suspected gunman in the assassination attempt, was shot and killed by Secret Service seconds after he allegedly fired shots at the stage where Trump was speaking on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm not giving up on this. I still suspect him to be a Chinese man. In my mind and in my heart, this is still a Chinese man. I am confident that we will figure this out eventually. One rally attendee, a 50-year-old man identified as Corey Comparatore, died, and 2 other spectators were critically injured. Trump was shot in the right ear. Now, that part is also questioned. We don't know if it was actually a piece of glass shard from the teleprompter that hit him in the ear, or if he actually did get shot in the ear. We don't know that either. But, you know, it seems like Trump himself said he got shot in the ear, so we're going with that. But let's keep going. A resident of Bethel Park, about an hour away from where the shooting occurred, Crooks was a registered Republican who would have been eligible to cast his first presidential vote in November 5th election, in which Trump is challenging President Joe Biden. Now, all I'm going to say is this. It seems like he won't be able to cast that vote. This would be the funniest story on the planet if he was like a Nikki Haley voter. I said this earlier in my Discord, but I'm like, I will write Nikki Haley's name if it comes out that he was a scorned Nikki Haley stan. Public records show his father is a registered Republican and the mother is a registered Democrat. Federal Election Commission filings show Crooks appears to have made a small $15 donation several years ago to a political action committee called Act Blue that raises money for left-leaning and Democratic politicians. Act Blue is the processor. So Act Blue doesn't mean anything. Act Blue simply means it is a processor for Democratic Party donations. The real interesting part about this is that the donation was earmarked for the Progressive Turnout Project, a national group that rallies Democrats to vote. Now, since this article article came out, there was new information. I think that this wasn't him. I don't know if that's the case or not. And the Progressive Turnout Project itself is like one of those scam organizations regardless. He went from donating $15 as reported in the media to like becoming a registered Republican afterwards. It's reported that Trump's attempted assassination, Thomas Matthew Crooks, made a $15 donation to Progressive Turnout PAC on January 20th, 2021. I've reported on this PAC and his mothership before. It's one of those scammy firms that blast people's inboxes relentlessly. Like, we need to know if voters support this. This data will provide to be crucial. Donald Trump conducted countless crimes while in office, but Republicans are calling for Biden to pardon him. Should President Joe Biden pardon Donald Trump? This is false. Thomas Crooks made the donation with the same address that is listed in his voter's registration. It is confirmed. Pittsburgh addresses are weird. Many addresses here don't actually list the municipality you live in, but the zip codes match up. So there's a little bit of back and forth on this, but I rely on mainstream reporting on this, even though mainstream reporting can get it wrong too. But it does seem like it was him who made the donation, which doesn't really matter because the reality is, like, I have donations made. Like, I have $1 donations made to what's her face? Gillibrand, Kirsten Gillibrand. I'm not exactly a Kirsten Gillibrand head, as you guys know. I don't even remember if I made that donation or if someone else made a fake donation under my name. I can't remember. I could have made it as a meme, but ultimately, you know, people lose bets and make donations and like that. This is not copium. This explains why someone would themselves make a donation like that. He could have made that donation, radicalized, became increasingly more radicalized over time. There's a million different reasons why that could have been the case. But ultimately, as far as what we know about him, he was a registered Republican. Crooks's parents could not immediately be reached for comment by Reuters. His father, Matthew Crooks, his father's name is also Matthew Crooks, 53, told CNN that he was trying to figure out what happened and would wait until he talked to law enforcement before speaking out about his son. Secret Service agents fatally shot the suspect, the agency said, after he opened fire from the roof of a building about 150 yards, 140 meters, from the stage where Trump was addressing his supporters. An AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle was used in the shooting, was recovered near his body. The firearm was legally purchased by the suspect's father, ABC and the Wall Street Journal reported, citing sources. Bomb-making materials were found in the suspect's car. U.S. media outlets reported, citing sources. Super smart. Let's get to his background. That's how, like I said, that's how you know he's white. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers are out here being like, he was super smart, quiet kid, very nice. It's like, bro, he tried to assassinate the former president. In the family's hometown, one of Thomas Crooks' former classmates at Bethel Park High School said the suspect did not show any particular interest in politics. Rather, his interest centered on building computers and playing games. A 20-year-old classmate who asked not to be identified said in an interview, Crooks often kept to himself, the classmate said, and politics never came up. Their conversations revolved around the school. The classmate said, he was super smart. That's what really kind of threw me off. This was like a really, really smart kid. Like, he excelled. The classmate said nothing crazy ever came up in any conversation. The classmate added that he had not seen or heard from Crooks since the suspect graduated in 2022. While in school, Crooks received a $500 Star Award from the National Math and Science Initiative. Oh my God, he was a stem cell. According to the Pittsburgh Tribune Review newspaper, Bethel Park School District is cooperating with the law enforcement investigation, local media reported. As law enforcement dug into his background, the streets around Crooks' home were blocked off by heavy police presence on Sunday. Residents who live nearby described feeling shocked and unsettled that an assassination attempt has been linked to a person from the sedate city of 33,000 people. Bethel Park is a pretty blue-collar type of area, and to think that somebody was that close is a little insane, said Wes Morgan, a 42-year-old who works at an investment management company and bikes with his children around the same streets as Crooks' residence. A couple standing on the porch of their nearby brick ranch-style home was left processing the events and spotlight on the neighborhood. There was never been a gun issue. There's never been a police being called, Mary Prisalak, 67, said, alongside her husband. White. You kind of have to wonder, what didn't he get in life? What led to this extreme? Bruce Pindle, owner of Allegheny Arms and Guns Work in Bethel Park, said that after learning about the shooting, he checked his records. We did not sell any firearms to the shooter. We did not sell any firearms that was used in the shooting to the family. When asked whether he had sold any firearms to Crooks' family members, he declined to provide a direct answer. That's between me and God. Wait, what? What is going on in America? That's between me and God? Bro, you might as well have said you gave them the weapon. You've sold them arms, okay? That's a what the Like, you kind of answered the question there, didn't you? You have to understand, in Western Pennsylvania, we have a rich tradition of hunting and fishing and outdoor stuff, Pendle said. When asked about the number of gun shops in the region, within 10 miles, there are a ton of gun clubs. While Reuters could not immediately identify social media accounts or other online postings by Crooks, Discord said on Sunday that he had an account on the instant messaging platform. We have identified an account that appears to have been linked to the suspect. It was rarely utilized, and we have found no evidence that it was used to plan this incident or discuss his political views, Discord said in a statement. We got people on it combing through his account as well, but I don't know if there's anything that comes out from that. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, did not immediately respond to the question of whether he had accounts and whether the platforms had even removed any accounts related to the suspect. So that's what we know. There's some additional stuff, but it seems like he was the kid when he was a kid. He was the person who made the person that made the donation. Also, on top of everything else, the fact that he was not only just a registered Republican, but also wearing the merch of a gun tuber in the process of doing the shooting makes it, again, all the more weird. This is from 20 minutes ago. Oh, this was Jason Kohler, who said he attended the same high school but did not share any class with Crooks, said Crooks was bullied at school and sat alone at lunchtime. Other students mocked him for the way he dressed, such as hunting outfits, Kohler said. He was bullied almost every day, Kohler told reporters. He was just the outcast. And you know how kids are nowadays. Bro, you're a kid. You're the same age as him. What the f do you mean? You know how kids are nowadays. Anyway, Crooks worked at a nursing home as a dietary aide, a job that generally involves food preparation. Marcy Grimm, the administrator of Bethel Park Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation, said in a statement that she was shocked and saddened to learn of his involvement. Grimm added that Crooks had a clean background check when he was hired. Crooks' political leanings were not immediately clear. Records show Crooks was registered as a Republican voter in Pennsylvania, but federal campaign finance reports also show he gave $15 to Progressive Political Action Committee on January 20th, 2021, the day President Biden was sworn into office. Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldinger told AP on Sunday that Crooks had been previously unknown to investigators in his county and had not been on their radar. Like, it could be a bet that you lost or some shit, or he could have been a progressive or something and then turned around and became a registered Republican in the course of like 8 months. People radicalize over the course of 8 months in much more significant ways. Ultimately, his last political affiliations is still a registered Republican. It's a much more significant that's a much more significant thing than like donating during inauguration, being 17 at the time. Oh, here's a video of Kohler talking about Crooks being bullied.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know.
Bro, in Western PA, do they bully kids for wearing camo? Like, if you ask me, I would have expected everyone to be wearing that shit in Western PA.
You know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it, and it's honestly kind of sad. I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much. So
one of the judges said, this dude definitely bullied him. Chill, dude.
Do you remember at all what they said to him or called him?
No. He was just made fun of, I guess, for the way he dressed or his appearance.
How did he dress?
Like they were just saying jeans. He'd wear hunting outfits sometimes. He would always wear a mask, even after COVID. He wore a mask, like a COVID.
Oh, liberal. That's how you know. I'm not ruling out him being like right wing. I'm not ruling out him being like the most extreme liberal you've ever met in your life. That is like a diehard liberal, so much so that he like registered as a Republican to vote in the closed primaries. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely nothing we are learning about the shooter or his family is surprising or weird. Alleged Trump shooter's father is a registered libertarian. I mean, that makes sense. Like, this is probably just an elaborate suicide by cop. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, we have nothing to work with on that front, but I don't think that is like the way you would do that. There's so many easier ways of doing suicide by cop, dude. Are you kidding me? Most of the time, these guys will just go and shoot up a school. Something more unique about his this is his age. He falls right into the perfect age to not really have much of an internet footprint because he didn't post a lot, didn't have a Facebook, barely used what he did have, and was a loner. Yeah, liberal families don't have guns in the house. That's not true. We're talking about a small Western Pennsylvania town. Liberal families will absolutely have guns in the house. American gun culture far transcends political leanings, political ideologies. Yeah, they hunt a lot. So that's not shocking. It is shocking that he doesn't have like a massive digital footprint that people have been able to find, including MHUD and like, you know, journalists that are obviously making the rounds right now, scouring the internet. Like, the only thing that we were able to find find on this guy is his Discord. He was a member since August 30th on Discord. He had a Discord account, at least the one that we know he had, since August 30th, 2023. And that's it. There's also obviously like right-wing nutters losing their minds a little bit over this. So in very expected ways. How do you know it's his? Because I got it from a New York Times journalist, chatter. Like, what do you mean? It's not like I got it randomly from a subreddit or some shit. No, I sent it to MHUD. He has just like a regular gray name Discord profile, as in his name is just Thomas, no avatar, nothing, like no profile picture, nothing. We don't know what servers he's in, unless Discord voluntarily gives that information up to journalists, which I doubt that they'll do. They'll probably give that journalist to law enforcement, but I don't think that he will, I don't think they'll give that information up to, what do you call it? I guarantee you this guy's a burner. Andy, I went to school with this type, 17 alt accounts and emails meticulously scrubbed so no one finds out that one person is running him. I mean, that could be the case, but it's just like, even that is still traceable. I read, I don't know the veracity of this, but FBI says it found, the Spectator Index says, FBI says it, oh, it is not found a manifesto. I thought the FBI had found a manifesto. My bad, I misread that. The FBI has not found a manifesto. In terms of like the Republicans not being all right, liberals not being all right either, this guy goes, the rabbit hole goes deeper. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, was featured in a 2023 BlackRock ad. The BlackRock ad was filmed at Bethel Park High School, which Crooks attended. Crooks can be seen at the 19-second mark. My thoughts. This to me stinks of MK Ultra. But what's odd to me is that someone would even come across this so fast. Like, how do you cross-reference the name of the school in BlackRock? What do you think? And it's like, yeah, dude, it's a normal BlackRock ad. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do.
This is literally a BlackRock pension ad, dude. This is just what BlackRock does. Like, they don't do hits. You're ridiculous. Here he is, by the way, in the classroom. This is him. Motherfucker's got the craziest case of Habsburg jaw, by the way. Holy shit. There's another piece of information here. New suspected Trump shooter was once rejected from high school rifle club. 2 former team members tell ABC. He was asked not to come back because of how bad of a shot he was. It was considered like dangerous, said one of the team members. So that's all we have for the time being. But the only thing that ties this person to right-wing leanings and associations is wearing a GunTubers merch. A GunTuber that isn't like overtly political, by the way, in comparison to the likes of Brandon Herrera, who literally ran for Republican office, but is still aligned with those guys. For the record, Demolition Ranch is aligned with those guys and is like friends with those guys. And, you know, as most gun tubers are, obviously still right wing, but not as overtly right wing as other gun tubers are, I guess. Here is the shirt that the shooter was wearing, the Demolition shirt. This is from Demolition Ranch. I think this has stuff you didn't cover with the shooter. No, we did. We covered his background. The small, quiet, little nerd, wore a mask, even past like mask mandates. I would almost put money on the fact that I probably had seen him wear a Trump shirt or something along the lines of that beforehand, which is why it's so shocking to me. Up to Graph also says she was pretty sure that Crooks himself or one of his friends wore a pro-Trump shirt. I mean, he was like, he would always wear like hunting camo and stuff, apparently. Try to join his school's, join his school's shooting club, school shooting club. Weird thing that Americans have. Up to Graph says she believes Crooks was transferred to the Bethel School Park District in 8th grade, and that was he was a part of a class that received special instruction and often caused trouble for their teacher because of the material they looked up on the internet. They would have had videos of video games that were a little too graphic, a little too gory. Looking up rifle club, not shooting club. Sorry. Siga Foos did not recall Crooks making political overtures in class, but rather, this is from the Philadelphia Inquirer, but rather someone as interested in how government works and not trying to insert his own beliefs into it. Another former classmate did not share his view. Max R. Smith recalled taking an American history course with Crooks as a sophomore. He did recall Crooks making political statements, but they shed no light on his actions Saturday. He definitely was conservative, he said. He makes me wonder why he would carry out an assassination attempt on a conservative candidate. Smith recalled a mock debate in which their professor of history posed the government policy questions and asked students to stand on one side of the classroom or the other to signal their support or opposition for a proposal. The majority of the class were on the liberal side, but Tom, no matter what, always stood his ground on the conservative side, Smith said. That's still the picture I have of him, just standing alone on one side while the rest of the class was on the other. I mean, dude, he's literally wearing like Mount Rushmore superimposed over a American flag on his t-shirt in his goddamn school photo. Like, he chose to wear this shirt. You think when his Twitch username gets leaked, there's a chance he follows you? Absolutely. 100%. Do you know how many Nazis follow me, dude? Do you think that's because I myself have similar opinions to them? Or do you think they stalk my entire life because they love sending me the most personalized death threats they possibly could? But yes, if he was as online as to have a Twitch account and followed me, I would not be shocked by that at all. I have a ton of far-right active hater stalkers.